Alright, we're back. Let's do that. Hey!
Yo, what up,
We still have
peeps?
got Andy, so we're gonna try and go through into the Forbidden City at a reasonable pace, and let's see how it goes. So, kicking off things, we've got Feast or Famine, fire roll only province for with 3 province strength. Interrupt when this province is broken. Choose an opponent's character. Move each fate from that character to a character you control with no fate. Oh, and how good do you think this is? Obviously, there's a lot of potential for goodness. How good do you think it is in reality?
Super high, potentially, often super low. So if your opponent goes, right, I'm going to buy my 3-coster and put 2 fate on turn 1 and charge over there, and he hits meditations on the Tau, he's going to lose a fate off those guys, off that guy. But he'll still have that guy around for next turn. If he hits this and breaks it, which he probably will at 3 strength, he means he's going to lose all of the fate off that character, providing you have a character with no fate.
Yeah.
So your play has to set this one up. Sometimes it's going to be a massive blowout. Other times it's going to be blah. A bit like a lot of the fire provinces at the moment. They often can be, oh my god, or they can be, okay, that wasn't super bad. I attacked one guy into that night raid. I'm going to pitch a card, could be worse. My guy without any fate on attacked into meditations on the town. So, yeah, it's very up and down, like a lot of the fire ones. Potentially massive some games, potentially meh other games. What's interesting about this one is, if you're playing the unicorn card from the 6th pack, which allows you to change which province somebody's attacking into, that could potentially make this card really good. The ability to control when it triggers. Now, this is critically fire roll only. So, that restricts us to Lion and Dragon.
Lion, yeah.
Now, Lion, I can see getting value out of this one.
Yeah.
I can see Dragon getting value as well. So, the only problem for Dragon is they've got 2 fire slots. Now, I mean, they like their current clan one a fair amount, probably. But I can see them considering this one.
Yeah,
a lot of Dragon players aren't playing Restoration of Balance because they just assume that their opponent assumes that they are playing it, and tries not to walk into it and blow themselves out. So, yeah, I mean, you could see this and meditations, or you could see this. Yeah, it's
this is meditation.
Dragon have
a
a
lot
whole
of
bunch
faith
of
denial. Yeah,
they have so Dragon have a lot of mind games going on, which is cool.
And one of the nice things about this is you don't have to. You're not going to take the fate off an attacking character. You can take it off any of their characters. It doesn't specify attacking, which is pretty awesome. The trick for Dragon is actually going to have a character with no fate on it. When I play with my Dragon deck, I tend to have a lot of characters floating around. But I mean, once you have this in your deck, it shouldn't be too hard to get one. You might be dropping a bunch of fate onto your Doomed Shigenja, not so doomed anymore. Lion is a really interesting one, though, because Lion are going to have a lot of characters floating around without any fate on them. So this is a real opportunity for them to both penalize you, take 1, 2, maybe 3 fate off one of your characters and move it over to one of their guys who unexpectedly is going to stick around. I think it's a really, really good province. I'm looking forward to playing it.
Cool. Okay, so next we've got Public Forum. So another province with 3 strength. It is a Earth province. Cannot be a stronghold province. I think that's the first time I've seen that. Excuse me. Interrupt. When this province will be broken, if there are no honor tokens on it, place 1 honor token on it instead. Anyone kind of have strong views on this? It's kind of a little interesting with the honor token mechanic. The honor tokens are just tokens of any. It's a nominal token. Yeah.
It's an honor token. Yeah, it's just you're just using an honor token because they're already in the game, and it's just a means of tracking whether or not it explodes.
You attack it once, you hit it once, you resolve it if you break it, and you never attack that province again, probably because you're wasting conflicts. That's how I see it anyway. You would probably get burned by this on the first time you attack it and never attack it again.
Oh no, but the second time it will break.
Because
the second time there will
Yeah,
be
the second
an
time
honor
it
token
breaks.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, second time it breaks. Oh, if there's no honor token. Okay, yeah.
So it's just a once-off. It's actually quite similar to Rally to the Cause. Yeah, Rally to the Cause. Rally to the Cause was super, super popular for Worlds, judging by the decks. And this kind of fills a similar slot. It defends itself for that one conflict, where Rally kind of switches things around, and you have a chance of not only defending but maybe winning that conflict. Public Forum is like, I don't care if you get the ring here, just as long as you're not taking the province. Yeah, I can see this being in, like, if you've got decks like Lion who are throwing themselves across the field and don't really care, this is that speed bump they need. This stops their opponent from taking a province and lets them race ahead in that province be province kind of scenario. You're not going to defend it. So any clan that doesn't want to defend and doesn't particularly care about doing so will enjoy this. It's replacing one of the Earth ones, which are higher, but this is a certainty. This will not get taken first time round.
And so do you think, when we talked about the Murderer's Row of Province, that, often Scorpion will, or sort of particularly the Void rolls will sort of roll out? Do you think this makes it into those sort of pretty sort of defensively minded decks?
No.
Just because it
No,
doesn't hold
for a
up
different
turn
deck.
after turn.
Well, I don't know. They might. I think the only configuration it works on is something like you decide for whatever reason I'm gonna have like Pilgrimage, I'm gonna have Shameful Display, I'm gonna have Secret Cache, 3 provinces you never want to attack, and I'm gonna have Public Forum, and then under my stronghold I say Night Raid, I guess, but I don't think it'd come up much. You'd basically want every other province to be so horrible that someone's willing to go after Public Forum. Like, because you go after once and it doesn't break, and you're like, oh, sad. And then you go after it again and it breaks. So it might give you an extra half a turn, or it might give you an extra conflict. But yeah, it's okay. It's not bad, but it's,
Yeah. So think about this as the Lion provinces. So Feast or Famine, it's going to break, but it'll take their fate. Public Forum, it's going to break. Well, no, actually, it's not going to break first time. It'll break the second time. Art of War, yeah, it's going to break. I don't really care, but it'll give me more cards. So just driving that forward. Don't worry about defending. Just focus on attacking.
Yeah, that's what I like about it in Lion. It could give you just an extra conflict where you just don't need to bother.
Okay.
Yep, and it'll be good. I mean, for clans that are playing Display of Power, it's great because it flips and you just go, yeah, no defense.
Great.
Don't care. I
Yeah.
lose nothing.
It seems like interesting, like, we're not sure it's a great card, but certainly an interesting card, I think.
Could see play.
Some
Definitely
play.
could see play.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. It could.
Okay.
I definitely want to try this out to see how it actually goes in games. It looks like it could be decent.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Kakita Yoshi, daimyo of the Kakita family. A 5 fate cost, 2 military, 6 politics. Also a courtier with 3 glory. Action: while this character is participating in a conflict, discard the Imperial favor. Draw 3 cards. Reduce the cost of each event you play during this conflict by 2. Andy, what do you think?
Good card. I mean, he's expensive, and they don't have a way of getting him in super cheap or anything. He's clan champion cost, and you have to have the favor. Card draw is always nice, and having cards, like, essentially what you draw for free. It's just events, right? Yeah. I mean, he seems good, but maybe a bit too niche.
Any other thoughts, Owen?
He's a hoss. If you get the favor and Crane are reasonably good at grabbing the favor, he's going to go, well, I'd like free cards, and I'd like for my events to be cheaper. So, he's got potentially big upsides, and he's got a solid statted body. 6 politics with 3 glory is nothing to sniff at. And his military is actually much higher than I expected it to be, because Kiriyoshi in the lore famously was forbidden by curse from drawing a metal blade. So yeah, he is.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a dash, actually.
If he needs to die. I think solid enough, to be honest.
Okay. And while Izaki will remember, Kakita Yoshi will not forget. Slightly lazy flavor text.
It's somewhat.
Yeah, it's 2D side fighter intro text all really over again. Yeah, he's really good. He's super. Yeah, he's really strong.
Honor
him when he becomes a 5/9.
This is the kind of power level I would assume from a 5-cost card. This is like this guy is totally fine in my opinion. He's powerful, not obscenely so, and he doesn't break anything fundamental about the game. He does generate potentially a lot of value, but this guy has to be paid for. You have to buy him in Crane. You actually have to pay 5 for him, right?
You can pay charge in Crane, and you can charge.
You could play charge. You could play charge, yeah.
But he's not really. He's not helping you hugely. Like if you charge in a two force character, well, but then the thing is, Yoshi goes away at the end of the turn. Like you don't have the greater glory to actually screw everyone. Here's my 20 fates worth of advantage I just got from this small little combo I played.
He's fine because the infrastructure in Crane doesn't support something really broken going on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is notable that Test of Skill has been revealed, although we don't know what pack it is in yet, which is a 1-cost card where you can name a card type, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, 4 if you've got a duelist, and add 2 of them to your hand, discarding the rest. So the dream scenario with Yoshi is basically triggering or drawing into a Test of Skill and then keep triggering Test of Skills till you've drawn a bucket load of cards. And the fact that you can pay things for cheap is really, really stunning, and kind of needs to be factored in. But yeah, you're kind of looking for that one big blowout turn where you can get a lot of work done. You're probably going to win whatever conflict you're discarding the favor to Yoshi in it. But how much can you get out of that for future conflicts and future turns? But yeah, I like this character a lot, and it's definitely going to have a place.
I mean, as John's pointing out, that if you think of him as a charge, that 2 military is not much, but 2 military, draw 3 cards for a charge is good value.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Chisai District.
Junk.
Unique, limit 1 per deck. I'll do it quickly then if Baz has made his proclamation.
It's garbage. Did you say garbage, Baz? Sorry, I was distracted for a moment.
I said junk. It was close enough.
Yeah. Same thing. It's terrible. Why?
So no military conflicts against this holdings province.
It's the reverse of Hito District.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just thematically cool, but yeah.
Move on.
We're moving on. We've moved on. What? We're on to Enigmatic Magistrate.
Congrats, Andy. That's.
Oh shit.
Why do you shit on Unicorn so much?
What?
No, Unicorn card,
this is Dragon. A 2/2 Magistrate for 3. Bushi Imperial Magistrate, 1 glory. While this character is attacking only characters that have an odd printed cost, count their skill towards this conflict.
This is a dragon card. This is like typically dragon. It's kind of random. It's kind of
random as fuck.
Yeah. It's just so bullshit. Yeah, cool, great.
Never going to see play.
No.
I mean, unless we enter some bizarro world of 2 and 4 cost characters. No. Move on.
Okay.
Nope.
So let's try Prodigy of the Waves. See if we get onto better territory. So 3/3 for 4 fate, 2 glory, Shugenja Water. Action and its Phoenix. Action. While the Water Ring is claimed, ready this character. Justin, any thoughts?
Yeah, really, really good. Really good. So, I suppose the immediate comparison is an Eden Master. And, okay, obviously the action is, or the straightening thing, obviously worse. However, is a Shugenja, which is way, way, way better. And the condition really, like Phoenix really enjoy claiming water these days. So yeah, it's just a. And the thing is, the fact is, it's while the ring is claimed. It's not the standard Phoenix crap of you have to win this challenge with massively understated characters. It's just if it's claimed, so you can actually just send in some sacrificial spud. I'm gonna send this worthless, this worthless 1/1 or 1/2 because we've got a ton of those into a conflict for water. And if they beat you in conflict, well, then you get to straighten it. So this guy's ability turns on. So.
So if you attack with her into a water conflict, she straightens one way or the other?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
While the ring's claimed. As long as somebody has claimed the ring, whether that's you or your opponent, you can straighten her. So she's really, really super good. She's really, really super good. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, when comparing to Neaton Master is actually one of the best characters in the game, so I have zero problems with Prodigy of the Waves not being as good as Neaton Master, because she shouldn't be, because no card should be really probably that good, or very, very few cards should be that good. But she's absolutely fantastic. And again, is Benton's in this pack?
Yep.
Benton's Blessing, is it this pack or the next pack? Yeah, obviously Benton's Blessing. There's a combo with that.
Benton's Touch?
We'll get to Benton's.
For some reason, bigger than it is.
Yeah, I don't know, possibly. But Prodigy of the Waves is just fantastic. And actually, in fairness, when comparing to Neaton Master is complete horseshit on the first turn it comes out, because that's usually the turn where he goes, I'll defend, I'll attach a weapon, I'll attack you, I'll attach a weapon, I'll attack you again. And after that, you have to plow more cards into Neaton Master to activate the effect. So Neaton Master has one turn of glory and then gets much worse. Whereas the Prodigy of the Waves, if you invest 2, maybe even 3 fate, so I can certainly see myself investing 3 fate into the Prodigy under the right circumstances, she will just be unbowing every single turn. So she is less explosive than the Neaton Master, but overall more cost efficient and probably effective. So I think Prodigy is
It's also notable that where the Dragon Stronghold gives +2/+2 for the conflict, if they've got 2 attachments, the Phoenix Stronghold does give +2 glory. So if she's honored, she's a 7/7 for 2 conflicts.
Yeah, absolutely. Which means that she's
a beast.
So requires a bit more setup. I mean, we're still in the situation where being dishonored is much more likely than being honored, but Benton's could go away toward fixing that.
She has a nice little synergy as well with the water covert guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Phoenix really are like the water clan right now. So so actually, the more you look at it and the more I think about her, actually the better and better she gets. So yeah, she's amazing. She's really, really amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, probably better than K-Day, very possibly.
Oof. Nice.
Bold statement.
Could be.
You can play both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can play both. I've played. Having played K-Day. K-Day is great, but I think maybe not as good. But Prodigy is actually, I think, the first. Okay, Tsukune is also kind of game breaking, but this is the first. Yeah, Prodigy is kind of on that level. She's absolutely on that level.
Okay.
So yeah, she's superb. She's superb. Yeah, absolutely thrilled with her.
All right. Next up is Child of the Plains, a 1 fate, 1/0 cavalry scout with 0 glory. Reaction: after a province this character is attacking is revealed, the attacker has the first action opportunity this conflict. Andy, you're our unicorn cheerleader. What are your thoughts?
I would say this is actually finally a good unicorn card. This is sneak attack or naval. So from the old game, if we're talking old L5R, there's 2 terms that old L5R players will recognize pretty well. But naval was a trait that gave you the first action in a battle as the attacker, and sneak attack was a fate card or a conflict card, which did the same thing. This is pretty cool. I like it. Reaction after, and you get to do it straight away. It's nice. I don't see a downside to it. Maybe the fact that it's a 1/0, but that's a super strong action. Sneak is always a strong action, so yeah, maybe it's good. It looks good. I think you could use this for sure.
But as a unicorn player, what action are you going to take?
That's a very good point, Baz. Assassination.
Route the defender. I don't know. Yeah, route assassination.
Yeah, I don't know. It gives you options. It at least gives you options in a clan that
it's
really needs them.
I mean, I don't think that it's going to take more than this and probably many other packs to pull Unicorn out of the mire they're in at the moment. But this is a card that, again, given time, will just get better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
So, big thumbs up for this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
Finally a good unicorn card. A real
absolutely.
solid unicorn card, which I'm really happy to see.
I kind of wish it was a conflict card, not a dynasty card.
No,
not to be too much of a downer on it.
I think it's best as a dynasty card, because if it was conflict, they might actually put like a fucking a splash.
You still have to play it before the conflict began, because otherwise you couldn't use the action. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, sticking with unicorn, we've got War Dog Master, 3 costs, 2 zip, 2 glory Bushi. Reaction: after this character is declared as an attacker, discard the top card of your dynasty deck. This character gets +X military until the end of the conflict. X is the cost of the discarded card. Justin.
So bad.
And here we are back to a unicorn card that, but that could be perfectly playable, but for some reason they've decided to do something to it just to make it crap.
So I think, what should this card be then?
Well, I don't understand. I mean, okay, thematically, I guess I understand why the dash is. The dash political.
Why? For 3?
I mean, okay. And for the thing is, it's really easy. Okay, it's a dash political because he's a War Dog Master. Bearing in mind that the War Dog Master, the name and the art, if that card was blank and it was like Unicorn A or Unicorn B, and you saw a 3 cost 2 dash with all that stuff with just that on it, it's just terrible. Like, why are you doing this to Unicorn? Why are you doing this to Unicorn?
Give it 4 military.
2 glory, so that if he gets dishonored, he's just 0. Why is this guy 0 glory if he's a war dog? Are war dog masters really that worried about how their pooches think? Do dogs understand the niceties, the complex interactions of the sheep? I just don't get it.
He's got as much glory as Shoju.
Yeah, when he
one of the most powerful people in the Empire.
When he goes #dogs of Instagram and puts that shit online, I mean, this thing's gonna go crazy. All the glory.
He's just okay, but so first of all, it's the ability only works when you're attacking, doesn't work when you're defending. The guy costs 3. He's a 2 dash with 2 glory. Oh my god.
So on the attack, he's probably
and then the effect is unreliable. The effect is unreliable. Obviously, you're unlikely to flip a holding in Unicorn, but you could flip a 1, you could flip a champion, you could flip. I mean, if Unicorn actually had a decent top end, which they don't, all their top end characters are garbage, which is one of the big problems they have. Yeah, then you might kind of feel a little unhappy or something like that. But yeah, it's just, but you know what's going to happen. You're going to play your War Dog Master and you're going to go in and you're going to flip, and there goes your E-Day Trader, and you're just going to feel like killing yourself. Or
what? Wait. I've had an epiphany. This card is great. This makes E-Day Tadaji really good. It means he has a place in the deck.
It is arguably the best. It is arguably the best use for E-Day Tadaji. Outside a toilet paper. I don't know. It's it's just not a very good card. I mean, if he had a political score, if it was a 2 or a 1, or even a 1 or a 0, that'd be great, because then he could do something in a different conflict. But once again, Unicorn are just getting railroaded into military conflicts. He can't defend it. It's just why there's so many kind of just restrictions on this card. for an effect that just isn't all that impressive.
Yeah,
It's
so
these
I
numbers.
I did have a quick look at the top unicorn deck from Worlds and just ran through this. At 35% of the time, this War Dog Master is going to end up a Moto Horde at a 1 fate discount. So it's completely unreliable, and 35% of the time it's going to be slightly better than the Moto Horde, which that deck only played 2 of because obviously didn't think it was good enough. This doesn't have any action. It's not getting anything done. It is in theory powering up your cavalry reserves because you're ditching more things into your discard pile. However, it doesn't have cavalry itself, so it's not what they need.
It's like, I mean, it is literally like two. It's like there's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing going on with Lion and Unicorn design. Like, it's a Lion character. Well, just give them all the extra stuff. Just make it work. It doesn't make, no restrictions, like all the good stuff. And then it gets to Unicorn, and they're like, well, I mean, how can we make this card as as unpleasant to contemplate and play as possible? And they just find a way. They just find a way.
To get slightly political, was Lion designed by the Americans, and it was a bunch of Canadians were feeling really bad when they designed unicorns, and these are just apology cards to your opponent all the way through.
Possibly. But right. Yeah, War Dog Master, like, kind of close, just not good.
Haruma Skirmisher. 1 fate cost, 1 zip.
Thank God, good card.
1 glory.
Super.
It's really good.
Reaction. After you play this character, it gains covert until the end of the phase. Owen.
We love 1-drops. We love 1-drops. And we like 1-drop conflict cards a lot in Crab, because we don't have any of our own. So she's going to see a lot of play. The fact that she gets covert is just a bonus. The zip is a real cost. The zip is a real cost in this character. But she's still going to see a ton of play because she's great. She pops down, she gets covert, she enables you to go for an attack on her own if you're really stuck. That's grand. She's probably going in with someone else bigger to break up a province, or at least threaten to make an honor loss. Covert's really powerful. Covert from hand is really, really powerful. Really good. Really good.
And 2 influence costs, as Travis mentions, which is kind of potentially splashable.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dragon might like her. Having another covert from hand.
Yeah, I mean, the Tattooed Wanderer is one of the best cards in the game currently. You see it splashed all the time. I know it does compete with some of the other Dragon cards, but this is kind of a mix. You don't have to make the decision between getting a character and getting covert. But I think for Crab especially, the fact that you can drop this 1-cost character, you're not getting the political, but the fact that you're removing someone from the military is a really big deal, especially for that last province. And it's a 1-cost character to sacrifice for Way of the Crab, for Funeral Pyre, for the Cooney Witch Hunter. So many different effects. Yeah, this is 3 into all Crab decks. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Let's keep it rolling. So, Seal of the Crab. So this is like the seals, 0 cost, 1 military for the crab. Attached character gains crab symbol, and the Berserker trait, which is a trait. I'm not sure. Have we seen any synergy for Berserkers?
Yes. Crisis Breaker. The keeper only 3 cost 3/1. If you're losing a military conflict, you can ready a Berserker and move them to the current conflict. It's actually good enough that we think when Crisis Breaker is out, Crab will swap out Fine Katana for Seal of the Crab, because that effect from Crisis Breaker is good. Yeah, it's really, really strong.
That'll be the first Seal seeing play then, by the sounds of it.
Could be. Now, like, we'll see, but it's if you pop that on Casada, and like Casada's now 8 military, and you go, well, I swing with my Crisis Breaker, or I swing Casada and I smash Province Grand, and then you attack back, I don't defend, I use Crisis Breaker, I swing Casada in. That's super good. Super good. It's there's a lot of value to it. We think it's going to be good. Now, it may not pan out that way, but just, I think it's going to see play. And if we get anything else for Berserkers that's good, it'll just reinforce that.
Cool. Interesting. So, next up we've got Dragon Kehoe, which is 0 cost. It's Mantra of Water. Reaction: after your opponent declares a water conflict, choose a monk character or a character with a monk attachment. Ready that character and draw a card. So obviously a little bit conditional, but pretty good if you get it off. Baz?
So you'll see this in play after you see Mantra of Fire in play. Mantra of Fire is the one we currently have. Everything is the same, except it's in reaction to a fire conflict. You still have to choose a monk or character monk attachment, but it adds 1 fate to them rather than this. This is slightly more conditional because you not only need to have that monk character, you need to have that a bowed monk character, which limits it slightly more. The problem with these mantras is if you're going 3 or 4 turns of a game and your opponent's declaring 2 elements each time, there's a significant risk that you're going to get these cards locked into your hand. You're not going to get to be able to play them, and they're not going to be able to do anything. It's a really cool idea. I very much like it. And we are going to start seeing enough monks to make it viable. But as I said, I think we're going to see fire first, because if you're declaring fire against dragon, then they're always going to have a monk that they can drop it on. Whereas water necessitates a bowed character, which is a little bit more conditional.
Okay, next up we've got Ageless Crone. A 1 fate cost character who's an conflict character. 0 military, 1 political, not dash despite being an Ageless Crone. Interesting. Courtier, 0 glory. During a conflict which this character is participating, increase the cost for each player to play each event by 1. Justin, I feel I want to just increase your heart rate.
I'm literally I'm borderline speechless at this stage with what they're doing. Okay, so in a card game, like the point of a card game is to play cards and to be able to play cards and exchange cards and to be able to try and outthink your opponent.
Crazy talk.
And just yeah, I know, and kind of develop a board situation and kind of just have a bit of fun. And they seem hell-bent on producing cards that simply shut down huge swathes of the game. This is a conflict character, Voice of Honor, for Lion that costs 1.
Not just for Lion either. It's 1 influence.
It's 1 influence.
Oh no, I know, yeah, I know. It's 1 influence. It gets to be everywhere. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just they seem to hate events, and you play this card into a conflict, and it just shuts down a conflict. So if you are ahead in that conflict, you can just go, right, that's it, events are done. Now, I can see a card like this being actually really, really interesting, if you are playing a game where characters have lots of abilities printed on them, and you are actually making an exchange of abilities and pushing things around. So that when you play an Aegis Crone into battle, there's actually a chance that there's a character there that will send you home. So, like, basically, characters like this would work fantastically in a game where you are exchanging actions and you are trying to set up your opponent for a powerful blow. Unfortunately, that's not the kind of game it is at the moment, because abilities printed on characters are few and far between. They're really powerful, so they're not all that common.
And Lion have most of them.
Lion have a good few of them, and a card like this can simply be dropped in to basically, as I said, to just cut your opponent off from events unless they have a stockpile of fate.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of one of those things. If you're ahead, she just makes sure that you're going to stay ahead, and this is the problem with negation. Like in a game like Magic the Gathering, you have counter spells, but if you have a choice, you can either advance your board position or you can counterspell something. In this, you can advance your board position and counterspell something as well, and that's where the problem comes in, because once you get ahead on the board, you can simply start playing these cards and just go, no, that's it.
Laugh at your opponent, basically.
Yeah, I mean, as they said, just going, well, I can't play anything.
Or you can at a massive cost, at a huge cost of fate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and maybe you can, but effectively playing that stuff out means you just lose the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, because the cost is too high. So I just do not understand why cards like this are being printed in these volumes, because we've seen nothing but counterspells, denial, negation. And the thing is, these effects are blanket effects. Like you can have a hand of 15 cards, and Aegis Crone can come down and shut off half your hand, 3/4 of your hand. You'll have some attachments to play, but that's it. The attachments just aren't that super powerful right now. So yeah, again, you're always looking for what's going on in the designer's mind and what they're thinking of and the kind of architecture for the game that they're putting together. I'm just not seeing it. I just don't see it. I don't understand why they're printing so many cards that just flat out negate huge swathes of the game that they've designed and other cards they've designed. Maybe there's some master plan at work there, but I'm just not seeing it. And this is just another example of bankrupt game design.
Isn't the wording on that card a bit loose? Shouldn't it be fate cost?
Does this mean...
It's probably implicit, I'm sure.
Wait. If it's bow one person, it's now bow two people?
See?
Or like pay honor or dishonor one person?
Maybe.
Usually
yeah,
this
I don't
time
know.
I ask John.
Oh my god, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, in which case, yeah, who gives a shit? Like, it makes the card even more oppressive, but or does it?
Yeah,
it does. Of course
makes
it does.
assassination.
Totally does.
Dishonor 2 of your courtiers to...
Assassination costs 4 honor, and yeah.
I don't know. I can only assume that they meant to increase the fate costs because that is the simplest. And otherwise, you would require a much more specific wording on that. Like you would require wherever a numeral appears, increase its value by 1, whatever.
Yeah,
I can only assume.
Oh no, I don't think it's intended. I'm just asking: is the wording of that a bit loose?
It is loose.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're seeing it's equality. So yeah, what the fuck?
Sacrifice 2 of your crab characters for Wave the Crab.
There was a little bit of chatter in the chat box about it being a blanket effect and it affecting both players, and I just want to kind of address that a little bit.
Yeah,
yes,
it doesn't.
It affects both players, but no, it really doesn't, because whoever is playing it wants that effect to happen. They want to control it's like I equated this to the old game version of Night Battle or Deadly. I said Deadly Ground as the first go-to, which basically just shut down a conflict. It was like, you cannot take actions unless it is to remove this thing. It's not quite that. It's not really even. It's in the same ballpark, but it's not quite that oppressive. But it's still, you're putting an effect into play that is removing your opponent's ability to play anything. So, and that's huge. That's like, you are opting into this. Your opponent is not.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little bit of discussion with Windswept Yurt where, the +2 fate or plus draw 2 cards. Or
honor.
Honor, sorry.
2 fate or 2 honor free.
2 fate or 2 honor, but, it's good because it's good. Because you control the timing of when you do it. Okay, moving on. Test of Courage. Another lion card. This time it's a 1-cost event for 1 influence. Action during a conflict. If your honor bid is lower than your opponent's, choose a lion character you control, move that character to the conflict, and then honor it. Baz.
So the question you have to ask here is Good Omen worth it? Good Omen, 2 copies were in the top deck of Worlds, but there was no other copies anywhere else. And I'm pretty sure that was a decision by the line player expecting there to be a lot of 5 bids in the environment, and from what we gather, there was. Whereas he was bidding 1 a lot, and kind of going for that low bid approach. If you're in that kind of scenario, then you can play this. I'm wondering why you don't have your character already in play. Like, you can just assign them. I mean, obviously, there's lots of scenarios where you'd want to move them in later, but is it really worth it for 1 cost, a particular setup relating to bid, has to be a line character, to get the perk of honoring them? I don't think it is. I think this is very conditional. I'm not impressed by the effect, and I think a lot of the time you're just not going to be able to play it, because in a lot of the environments, players start locking down into 1 bid and 1 bid, or 5 bid and 5 bid. Just from our experiences with the way people bid, they have a tendency to kind of move towards each other unless there's a drastic shift later on.
Owen, it looked like you wanted to say something.
Yeah. Okay, something that hacks me off about this. Right? Spirit Cult doesn't give a toss about the character being a line. You can just bring in if you want to. Right? Ujiaki doesn't give a toss. This card could be played in another deck. So immediately it has to be a line character.
Yeah.
Now, okay, guys, either they care or they don't. All right, what's the balance here? Oh, like, I can only play Spirit Cutter and Lion, so that can bring in anybody, you know. But you want to play this outside of line? Ooh, well, we better stick some conditions on this, like, you know.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah,
there's something rotten in the state of Denmark.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, this card is just I think you're right. The only thing that restricts this is the honor bid, and that's fair. That's a fair point. If you think about the rest of Lion, though, this card is just this card just has so much synergy. It has so much usefulness and value, because the thing is, even though it's at 1 fate cost, in Lion you're getting very, very close to the point where you actually don't need to spend fate in order to have a board. You can very, very easily generate a board from having cards in hand, or having, I don't know, 1 character on the table for 1 turn. You could also, like, you're also not needing to bid high at all the time, because you have card draw on your people. You have the new 2/2. You've got Imperial Storehouse. You've got your province that draws you 3. So you have card draw. You don't need to bid high, and you can also run the new the Crone, who basically says, I actually don't need to play cards from hand all that much. I'm just going to basically just play her, always bid 1. All the cards you're drawing, I'm going to make them less relevant because you may not be able to afford to play them. Maybe I can still afford to play my cards because I'm not investing so much of my fate, and I'm still being able to build a board. So this card is just like, and it's honoring, and it's like movement, and it's like, it's a good card.
As Travis points out in chat, it's anti-move. It's in-faction anti-move for Lion. So they now have anti-bow, anti-move, anti-events.
That's a good point, yeah. So,
it's kind of tiresome, actually.
Yeah.
So if the Ageless Crone gets sent home, all of a sudden you can play this to move her back in again,
and honor her.
And honor her and control the battle. Well, I mean, she's zero glory anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
does this make the cut for Lion decks?
Maybe not, and that is fucking tragic. Sorry for the.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
No, but it speaks.
I think that ship has sailed, Andy.
Yeah.
But like this speaks to how powerful Lion have become. That you're taking a card like this that a lot of other clans would probably play.
Jump on.
Absolutely jump on, and Lion may not actually play it. That's madness. At this stage of the game, we don't even have like loads of cards to put in decks. This might actually not make the cut.
Yeah, Travis is saying that move home isn't prevalent enough, but that's not what you play this for.
No,
you play it for moving into a conflict and honoring them and honoring the character. You don't need. It doesn't matter if move home is prevalent or not. I mean, because you can just you defend. I assign no defenders, and I'm just going to spend 1 fate to move this guy in and honor them, which in a clan, for example, like Phoenix, would be bananas.
Yeah,
Travis, 1 fate honor is not even terrible in itself, you know.
Travis is just saying that because he's playing Harmonize and needs to make sure Test of Courage doesn't enter the environment.
Harmonize is very good.
Okay. So a card we touched on earlier, I'll try and make it fit, is Benton's Touch. Just you want to talk about that while I fix the thing?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so Benton's Touch is a 0-cost event, and it's an action that says, it's massive. My God, it's so big. Okay, so it's a spell which may become relevant in the future with the Shrine Maiden and other things that we might see. As an action during a conflict, you can bow a Phoenix Shugenja to honor a character in the conflict. So this card, I've been kind of going backwards and forwards on this card quite a bit as to whether or not it is good. The cost is really, really significant. The cost is really high. Like bowing a friendly Shugenja and a friendly Phoenix Shugenja is really, really high. I mean, obviously, if you've got characters like the Prodigy of the Waves who make this less worse. But going through my mind, but seriously, actually, just going through my mind, less worse. Going through my mind in terms of like the number of games I played where I had just had a spare Phoenix Shugenja just lying around to do this kind of stuff. It's this card relies on water synergy. This card relies on water synergy. Without water synergy, it's overcosted. With water synergy, it's probably pretty good. And it gives Phoenix on-command honoring, which is one of the things they've been significantly lacking. So on the proviso that the cost of bowing a Phoenix Shugenja is not too high, this card is really, really strong for Phoenix. And that's about it. And
just on that bow, like even if you're bowing a 4 skill Shugenja, the majority of your characters are 2 to 3 glory, and then you're able to use your stronghold. 2 glory. So you're able to use your stronghold to get an extra 2 glory, and getting that first honored up person is crucially important.
Is a big deal.
Even if you're, my point is that even the sacrifice that you make in bowing that character is balanced out by the bonuses that you're going to get, and that will carry through to the next turn. I can see your concerns, because having to bow a character to get anything is harsh, as I can attest to with High Kick, which I'm not playing yet. But yeah, once the benefits outweigh it, and I think this one, if you're getting on the right character, it's gonna carry forward for the next few turns. So it's an investment. I mean,
the thing is, like, as I said, if you can mitigate the cost, this card is fantastic. I mean, I think someone was mentioning Against the Waves. I think that's no. I'm
you can say that about everything.
I'm massively against justifying one card. Well, you can spend one fate and spend another card to make this card good. That card had better be goddamn amazing.
Yeah, it's not that good.
It's not, and I don't think it's quite that good. I mean, but you do have the synergy, as I said. You've got the Prodigy, you've got the Water Ring itself. So it's I mean, like the card definitely has really high potential. Really high potential. And it's something that Phoenix desperately need. But the problem is that when you're playing a game, just the way situations work out, you're not always in a position where you have the luxury of I will go for water so I can unbow a guy, or sometimes you're doing stuff to you as well, and that can make costs or situational costs much higher than they appear. So I think this card, I mean, I will absolutely be playing this card, playtesting it. I'm very, very hopeful for it, but I just need to see it in play before I say whether it's amazing or whether it's not. It absolutely has the potential to be amazing.
And just to comment that it is a good indication of the power level of how the Way of should be, because this is directly comparable to Way of the Crane, but Way of the Crane is significantly superior. But so for someone else to get a similar effect, you're needing to bow a Phoenix Shugenja. And actually, just to briefly touch on that again, why is it a Phoenix Shugenja? Why even have influence if they're going to do it that way? But anyway, that's another side. It's just strange.
Maybe I guess they just want the effect for Phoenix mainly. It's, I mean, it is a core it's a core effect that Phoenix have been missing for sure. Like being able to honor a character, and I can understand why they want to put a cost on it, because once Phoenix get a character honored, and if they can keep them honored, then things can degenerate really, really quickly for your opponent. Phoenix can really, once they get things rolling, they can really, it's once you get behind against Phoenix, it's incredibly hard to come back. So I can absolutely see why it's costed like this. It's just whether or not the opportunity cost is going to be, whether you can mitigate the opportunity cost in enough cases to make this a really superb card.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's huge potential.
9 out of 10 would honor again.
Sorry?
9 out of 10.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Would honor again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, would honor again. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I mean, as I said, huge potential. Just have to wait and see about the cost.
Yeah.
Chat's conclusion, by the way, is that if Justin thinks a Phoenix card is okay, it's amazing.
It's a reasonable conclusion.
I mean, let me just explain. Let me just explain this to everyone who doesn't know Justin. Just if Justin says a movie is okay, it's usually really good. If he says a book is okay, it's usually really good. If he says a card is okay, it's usually pretty fucking good. This is just a general thing that Justin is. He downplays a lot of things.
This is outright character assassination. In fairness, like the line between, I mean, a card is okay, it's fine. The second a card like breaks that in terms of its power, the card is overpowered and therefore awful. So
the fine line.
Yeah, it is a very, very fine line. I mean, there are cards that walk that line amazingly, but they're few and far between.
Let's move on to one of those cards, shall we?
So, my pretty Bayushi Kachiko. A 5 fake cost 3/6 with 3 glory, courtier, Imperial advisor. Action. While this character is participating in a political conflict, she's a conflict character, as I understand, despite not having any influence cost. While this character is participating in political conflict, choose a participating character with lower political skill than this character. Move the chosen character home, then you may bow it.
Colm, as the resident Scorpion player, what do you think of Bayushi Kachiko?
No one cares what I think. That's why, I ask you guys. God, it's weird being on the receiving end of the questions. She's not worth the conflict cost, pretty mediocre.
You're being John's puppet.
Now you're getting the hang of it.
That's the role of all Scorpion players, is to be John's puppet. I like her a lot. I think she's really good. It'll be interesting to see how the dynamic of a 5-cost conflict character plays out.
Ultimate drop bear.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing the drop bear decks, which are specializing in that, but potentially is fairly easily telegraphed. We've seen there are some pretty expensive conflict events. I haven't been playing. My decks haven't been playing them, so really interested to see her in practice. But send home and bow is fantastic as an effect.
And her send home can be friendly if she wishes.
Yeah.
Then so the May bow is quite interesting. Yeah. Okay. And what do you think?
She's a bully. She's big. Like if she goes, let's say, second turn or something, you're kind of there's not much going on. You go for your political conflict. You send someone in, and then bam, her in. Send home your opponent. Honor her with fire or something, and she's just a monster. She's actually, I think, honored. She's the biggest military of Scorpion.
That's depressing.
She's really expensive. But
Yanako is bigger, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think there is a point that the Scorpion don't need much more help on the political front. In some ways, I mean, she's going to be played obviously, but But in terms of really shoring up weaknesses in the deck, I think Scorpion are lacking in military, and I don't think they're as balanced as someone like Crane.
No.
In that way.
But she's big. She's a bully. Like, she's very expensive. She's very, very expensive, particularly having a conflict slot. And like, would you pay 3 of her in your deck? I mean, wow. You're just asking to get 2 or something in opening hand. As a unique conflict character, I think you can discard a copy of her in the dynasty phase.
Only the dynasty, yeah.
It's only the dynasty phase for discarding, yeah. Okay, that's that's not so good.
So but I mean, she's big, she's impactful. That's not the worst. I don't think she's as badass as some of the other 5-drops we've seen. She's got a really good action. Like, the action is really strong in a political conflict. I don't know if you need a massive amount of help winning the conflict, but there's probably an alternate build where they strip Shoju out of the dynasty. They run all cheap guys in the dynasty, just 3-costers or 4-costers at most. And then maybe they throw 2 Kachiko in the conflict deck in case they need a bomb. But yeah,
She also powers up Ambush, which could start becoming pretty good.
I didn't think of that.
Just stealing chat's lines.
Yeah, I mean, she has like minor hidden costs. Like, she costs you an honor as well because she costs you a card. Not being able to dupe is a big deal.
She will gain you a fate because you're able to pass area if you wish to play her.
Potentially, yeah. That's an interesting trade-off. You are much less likely to see as many fate cards as you are dynasty cards throughout the course of the game. Would that be reasonable to say? Unless you're just going on a bid fight.
Depends a lot.
Spree of madness. Which
Scorpion go both ways.
So. But even if you are going on a bid 5 madness, you don't want to see multiple copies of her because duping isn't possible. So I mean, maybe she's a 2 of.
One thing I'll say about her. One thing just occurs to me: she answers guest of honor.
Yeah, she does. She answers a lot of things. In fact, just about everything in a political conflict.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I like her in terms of design because, and this is what I think they should be doing. Or this early in the game, I think they should be doing this a little bit more often than they do. She's changing the paradigms basically. She's the highest costed conflict character, and I'm interested to see what she brings. Like, she creates a niche that possibly could be useful in some way, shape, or form now and in the future, which I like. You're designing ways of getting good value out of big cards like this, which is kind of cool.
And interesting on our flavor text, I believe that's I just was going to check there. That's a response to the Crane Clan Champions flavor text.
Taru.
Yeah, Dojo Taru has something about they're playing a game of Go together, and they're going back and forth.
I think Hotaro's text is where that comes from. So I think it's actually on her card. Let's have a quick look.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So Hotaru, Dojo Hotaru, we're not here. We're not in it for the rule of Go.
We're not. Yeah.
We would be trapped in this game for eternity. We're nearly perfectly matched, and which would also bid the game to end. We're nearly perfectly matched, but there can only be one victor.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to misinformation.
Colm, Travis has updated the album.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he
include a couple of missing images.
Yeah, he had said that. So that's awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, so misinformation is a 1 fake cost Scorpion card. Action during a conflict: if your honor bid is at least 2 higher than your opponent's, each participating character. After that, I just kind of don't really want to read the rest. Each participating character in your opponent controls gains -1/-1 until the end of the conflict. Meh?
So it looks like it's supposed to be a finisher. Drop 2 of these in the last combat and win. In reality, you're not going to be able to ever play one of them. Yeah. Not to any great effect. Like, the times when you will be able to play this, it's probably going to be earlier in the game. There's no way to meddle with dials yet. You can hope to issue a few more jewels and see if someone will bid really low.
It's poop.
Poop. Move on.
But yeah, even if you set it up, I'm not sure the effects were it.
Oh god! Wow.
We've discussed this one. Our spoiler censure play only if you have the Imperial favor. Interrupt when the effects of the event would initiate. Cancel those effects. Has anyone's thoughts changed from what they said previously? I know Andy had a little bit of debate.
I wasn't here, but I still think this card is. I think it's a poorly designed card, and I think it could potentially be bad for the game. Just potentially. I have to stress that it's potentially bad for the game.
Okay.
Yeah. Too many broad action counters, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I feel we need a tap 2 crab characters to cancel an action, just so we can have a tap 2 blue. Yeah.
Tattered Missive, a 1 fake cost plus 0 military plus 1 political attachment item attached to a courtier character you control. Action, bow attached character, search the top 5 cards of your conflict deck for a card, reveal it and add it to your hand. Shuffle. Looks pretty interesting for Scorpion and Crane. Probably in particular Scorpion's bid 1 sorts of decks. Owen, any thoughts?
So it's really expensive. It is really, really, really expensive. Because are you going to put that on a 2-cost character? Okay. And now you're going to have any extra faith in that 2-cost character because you want more than one use out of it. It's just really, really, really expensive. That said, it's amazing. It's amazing search and card draw because you get to look at the top 5, you get to pick your best one, and you can put it in your hand, and it sticks around. But man, is that expensive. You really need that kind of costs you probably 4 to 5 fate because you're going to put it on a 2-drop. Probably you're going to put a 2 fate on, so you get 2 or 3 turns out of them. And then you're going to pay 1 for the missive, but then you start playing cards, and that's kind of good. And look at the filter like that. I mean, the Dishonor bomb deck that the world had to prevent. Certainly have considered this card just the ability to bomb somebody out. As is, maybe Phoenix will take a look. We'll see, but I mean, it's a big cost for a fairly big effect. Maybe good, maybe not. You'll have to play it and see because it is expensive as hell.
The challenge here is the characters that you want to bow are the ones that are really low cost, that you're not actually going to put any fate investment into. And if you're only getting this for 1 turn, is it really worth it? But then the larger courtier characters that you're going to keep around for a few turns aren't the ones that you're willing to bow to give up on it. The best case scenario I can see is Doji Shizue, where you don't make any investment, but you hold on to the Imperial favor and just keep bowing that 1-2 instead of doing anything else. But no, it's a nice idea. I guess, as has been said, it could work for some combo decks, but I'm not liking it, to be honest.
Okay.
I have a combo with it. You put it on Ujiaki, and then you use the movement card to move him into battle, and then trigger his ability. So you can fish for greater glory, so that you can.
That's you just back down, get your for greater glory, and then use his ability.
Yeah, and get a ring, take the province.
That's officer thinking, Andy. That's officer thinking.
Okay, so next up we've got a unicorn card. Secret roll only. Unicorn have a keeper roll, I believe. So
this is probably really good, yeah.
I hope it's good. 1 fake cost event. Action during a conflict in which you are the attacking player, move the contested ring to another eligible province and reveal it. If able, that province is now the attacked province. A bit of cavalry, old school cavalry. Looks like. Anyone?
So you need the Child of the Plains to get any use out of this, because otherwise the defender takes first action.
You would need to have a threat in either military or political to make this maybe worth running. If you had a threat in either political or military, and you could actually threaten your opponent with breaking 3 provinces and then their stronghold, then this could be a relevant card.
Yeah. So it's crap, is what we're saying.
It's
Unicorn card crap.
Terrible.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I was.
It's just depressing.
It's terrible, and you can't play it
because Unicorn are keeper.
Yeah, they can't even play it.
Yeah.
Now they're getting
For which
crap
they
cards they can't even
they
play.
should be eternally grateful.
Yeah.
They should be very, very grateful they can't.
Yeah, no, their keeper one is similar, but on the defense, which is so much better, and its attachment, so it sticks around and is just in so many ways better than this. Like, even if you are able to play this, which you're not, and even if you have your Child of the Plains in play, it doesn't really do much. Like, you're moving from one bad province into another bad province. Good job. It's not worth the card. It really isn't. Play the Pathfinder's Pathfinder's Blade instead, and just cancel whatever action they were going to play.
Play another clan.
Good call. Yeah, I recommend.
You can't say that.
I'm
That's
really
awful.
sorry. Look, a Unicorn player stopped me from winning the European Championships.
And he never forgave him. And that's why Andy is secretly bribed the design team.
I was watching that game, and I am pretty sure it was your god awful assignment. That game.
It certainly was.
All right,
but it was also that Unicorn player.
And last up, then we've got a Scorpion Clan holding the +1 province strength. Back Alley Hideaway. It's a city. Interrupt. When a Scorpion character you control leaves play, attach that character to this holding face down instead of its owner's discard pile. Action. Play an attached face down character from this holding as if it were in this province, then sacrifice this holding. Justin, you look confused?
I have no idea how to judge this card. I mean, it's clearly awesome. I've just no idea if it's any good. So action: play an attached face down character from this holding as if it were in this province.
Jonathan has a sort of explanation there, which is interrupt. When a Scorpion character you control leaves play, call a judge, ask them to explain it to you again.
So I
get the whole thing. Like, basically, you see when a Scorpion character leaves play, you stuff it under this, so they go into hiding.
Okay.
It's super fluffy, and then as an action, at any time you can play the attached face down character, so you're paying costs, which is good. Otherwise, it's going to be broken. You're playing them as if they were in this province, then sacrifice this holding. I mean, I would certainly love to play more Heroes.
Yeah.
It's just really you can't have too many Heroes. So it's really weird. I mean, obviously the big cost here is that it's sitting on a province, and your opponent is going to see that and go kill it with fire. They're going to try to kill that straight away, because you can't risk more Heroes coming out, just popping out of back alleys.
But for a Heroe, you'll have to have got a Heroe already for that Heroe to have left play while the back alley hideaway is in play.
You just buy it naked. Like, you'll go away at the end of the turn.
A lot of the time they won't get a chance because they go away at the end of the turn onto this, and then you make them in the dynasty phase before conflicts have taken place.
Yeah, I mean,
the character you play will come into play for free as well, right?
No.
Well, no.
No, you have to. You're playing it, so you have to pay costs.
Oh, yeah. I see.
So it's just a way of saving up a character that has faded away in a place you want them for. Now, there are already 5 developer rulings on 5ringsdb.com going through this.
Also, interestingly, I when I said about making them in the dynasty phase, you can make them in any phase because it's just an action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's an action.
Yeah. They're not in play, and they're neither attachments nor characters, just face down cards. So if you manage to get the Tattooed Wanderer or Togashi Kazue underneath it, you can play them back out as attachments.
Except you can't, because it's Scorpion character.
Yeah,
that's not a problem.
You've got Seal of the Scorpion.
Seal of the Scorpion. Does that work?
All coming together.
Does the attachment leave play, presumably?
No, the effect will still. The card stays. That's still a rule, right? If the card stays face up, its memory is still valid.
No, I think once it leaves play, it just forgets what it is. I think once it leaves play, it forgets.
Okay.
So because you're interrupting, you're getting in there before the Scorpion character leaves play, so its attachment is still attached to it. But I mean, God knows why you'd want to do that. But it just shows that there's a lot of convoluted things going on with this particular cool. It's a cool idea. Personally, I think just play another character. That's really, really good. That way, when this comes up, you don't need anyone to die. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I agree. I like it's an awesome card. It's an amazing card. I just don't think it's a good card. So
cool flavor wise.
If this was a crab,
really cool.
Holding, this would be really good.
Yeah.
If it was a crab holding, it would be you could only play it on defense.
Yeah. Well, you get a ton of value out of the ability to sack a guy and then be able to bring him back in the same turn to use him again.
That would be cool.
Kai Envoy.
Yeah. Or thing, even have to blow up the holding for it, it's grand. The problem with it for me is this is another one which is relying on good intentions to make the rules work. Because this guy comes out face down. There's nothing about flipping him face up.
He's got to
say that again.
It's obviously ninjutsu. The rebirth is ninjutsu from Lotus Edition.
Holding zip for this province, then sacrifice this holding. There's nothing in the rules that say your guy flips face up when you make him out of a province. Like, there's nothing that says, like, there's nothing in the rules that this guy does. Face down. God knows what's going on.
You have to pay his ninjutsu cost to make him flip up.
And what happens to all the other guys? Like, if you stack 5 guys underneath this and you make one, do the other 4 go to the discard? I guess they should.
Then sacrifice this holding. I'm sure they must.
They must do.
Yeah, they have to because they've been discarded. But anyway, I kind of feel we've lost the thread. I think
so. There's like 20 guys hiding in this back alley.
This focused criticism of the pack has disintegrated into mindless jabbering.
Let's get briefly on.
That's what happens when we roll like 3 different topics and
it's
2
fucking
packs
midnight
into
for me, guys. Come on, it's getting late. I've got to work in the morning.
Let's do some more.
The one thing you can do with this is
pack.
You can trigger Shusuro Actress twice in the same turn.
Yeah.
So they'd simultaneously be playing 2 different characters.
Okay. That's not what I want.
Oscar-worthy performance. I'd vote for her.
Overall thoughts on the pack? Any sort of standouts from that? Justin.
Yeah, no, there are some actually kind of interesting cards in this. Obviously, Old Crone is complete horseshit. Like Yashi is great. Right? Yashi is really, really good. The Prodigy is really, really good. Actually, no, the Prodigy is barely average. And PC play, I'm not sure. I'll have to really weigh up my options there with the old Prodigy.
So it's really good.
Yeah, and mediocre, purely mediocre. Not all that good. I'm not even sure I could rate it mediocre. Yeah, mine's gone blank actually. Quickly, link that. I just need to find the link to that.
Kachiko.
Yeah, she's really interesting. She's really interesting.
Benton's
really,
Touch.
really interesting. Benton's Touch. Yeah, probably really good, and I'm probably massively underrating it. It's one of those things like I just want to see it. Public Forum, kind of interesting. Obviously, interested to see where that goes.
That's enough. You've done too many cards already. We're not reviewing all cards.
The Haruma Ambusher. Haruma Ambusher is fantastic.
Yeah, Child of the Plains, an actually good unicorn card. Holy shit!
I don't think it'll survive. Honestly, I don't think it is. I don't think for one fate, I don't think it's worth it.
All right. I'm going to make a hot prediction here.
Ooh.
It's going to be the first card that's banned.
Which?
The Child of the Plains.
Child of the Plains. Heard it here first. Too much.
No, but it would just be so ironic and funny that the only good card to just dick over Unicorn even further.
It It is out of focus for the clan. I'll give you that.
It is. It's very off. It's off center for them.
Yeah.
Very asymmetric. You know.
Baz, in years' time, when someone's getting into the game late, what will they be buying?
They'll be buying this.
Buying it for
censure, I think. Yeah.
Okay. And for the Kachiko art, obviously.
Obviously.
Kachiko, I should say. I get it wrong every time. Owen, your thoughts on Into the Forbidden City?
Quite a good pack. There's a lot of interesting tools in it. I'd say it'll remain popular. I think it's one of the weaker packs for Dragon, actually, who generally had a fairly strong set. Crab, get the Room of Skirmisher is very good, and the Seal of the Crab, which will probably see some play. Phoenix do okay out of the pack.
Very well again.
Scorpion get a bunch of interesting bits and pieces. Yeah, I mean it's a solid enough pack. I mean, Unicorn get one good personality and one utter clunker, which is probably better than average.
Excellent. All right. So I think that wraps it up for the sake of Andy's sleep cycles and everyone else's sanity. All that's left is a beaver fact, I reckon.
Yes. So interesting about note about beavers. The beaver tail is a multifunction device. It can be used as a prop to balance themselves when cutting trees. Uses a rudder during diving and underwater maneuvers. It can signal an alarm when snapped on the water surface to warn other beavers of danger. You can store fat reserves in the tail, and it serves in heat exchange through a concurrent arrangement of blood vessels. The beaver can reduce 25% of the heat loss via the tail in the summer to 2% in the winter.
Wow.
So modify how much heat they lose through their tail.
I'm learning so much about beavers through the show. It's probably the most useful thing I'm getting from the whole experience. All right, thank you guys for sticking with us. I think we're about 3 hours going.
Yeah, still a good number of people watching this.
It's impressive. Thanks for chatting. There's been loads of like awesome contributions.
Chat's been awesome.
Been amazing.
Shout out to Travis and John and the IPC and Kurikashi and everyone else who's sort of been feeding us lines to make at least me sound more intelligent and ask useful questions of the guys. That's it. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, and we'll maybe have
2 more packs.
2 more packs.
Yeah, another 3 hour fucking Twitch.
Or maybe only 1. I'm not sure. We might get a full.
And that'll be post Madrid, Kota. Is that true?
It will be. It will be.
So basically another 3 hours too.
So we'll be hailing our new unicorn overlords. Single low unicorn charges all the way to the final. It's insane. I mean, if the top 8 isn't at least if the top 16 isn't 50% unicorn, I will be gobsmacked.
You've heard it here first. Hot takes. We'll leave it at that. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank everyone. Thanks for tuning in. All the best.